Hey everyone, Skull902 back here with another part of Sonic CD. This is part 3. Fucking funky ass motherfucking music zone. But really though, this is Tidal Tempest, and the reason why I call that, funky music whatever zone that I just said, uh, was because of the American song for the zone, which is playing right now. It is a jammin' tune, let me tell you. uh, it just sounds so fun and well funky, like I described before, and it's just amazing. Uh, like not only is it a fun song on its own, but it's also very remixable. There's a lot of remixes available, including one that mashed it up with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, which I absolutely love and will link in the description. Um, it's a great song. Definitely a great song. I mentioned in part 1, speaking of music, that there are 2 different soundtracks for the game. So, for the original Japanese release, as well as Europe, they got their own soundtrack, which is more like New Jack Swing in nature than anything else. And then I don't know if it was a license issue or like something about compensation to the original composers or whatever, but when the game came to North America, they changed the soundtrack to be like more moody rock than anything else. Tidal Tempest is a bit of an exception, at least with the present theme. Um, but they got some composers at Sega Technical Institute to go ahead and make some of their own tunes for this game. So 2 very different sounding soundtracks. Between the 2, I of course prefer the US soundtrack. I seem to be in a minority there. Um, so I guess that makes me a loser. But anyway, they made 2 different soundtracks. It's a bit of a divisive thing with fans of the game or the series in general. Um, but I prefer the American music. Most people prefer the Japanese music, which is fine. Uh, this is actually one of the zones, even though it's very, very close. This is one of the zones here where I prefer the original Japanese song, at least for the present version of Tidal Tempest. It's the same due to the programming. I couldn't explain it in any good detail, but there was something with the programming that made it so that all the past songs had to be the same in both versions. And then the present and the future versions are changed. But for Tidal Tempest, it's very close, barely one over the other, but I do prefer the Japanese version for Tidal Tempest present. So that's something. I don't just blindly like all of the US soundtrack more than the Japanese one. And I generally find that no matter which region it is, that the songs fit the aesthetic or the theme of the zone in question. So, it's all good. It's all good. Now, something else that I wanted to mention was Rabid actually pointed this out to me while he was watching the commentary. Watching the commentary. Well, he was watching part 2. Was that Amy Rose, it's a bit of a complicated situation with her, actually. I called this her debut, and for, like, all intents and purposes, it is the debut of Amy Rose as we know her. But she first appeared in a manga published in 1992. where it's kind of like a weird manga. It's very different from Sonic, but it wasn't a terribly established franchise. Only a single year after its creation, where like Sonic is like the alter ego of this kid who like turns into him, and he doesn't know that he turns into Sonic, and Amy is well. Like she has a unique look in the manga. She's like a brown hedgehog and whatnot, depending on the artist, because apparently there were also chapters or whatever published where she looks very similar to the way that she does in the classic games. So it's very strange. Her relationship with Sonic is very different, where Sonic slash the kid who turns into him, Nikki, actually, loves her back. They are a couple, so that's weird and interesting to think about. She doesn't know that they're separate people. Like I said, Tails, from what I am aware of, is the only one that knows that bit of a detail. Just so strange, but apparently, like, Sega requested sort of a female equivalent to Sonic at some point, and it's not so much that Amy in the games is inspired by the manga character. It's that they were both created at the same time in response to Sega's request. And just so happened, I guess, or maybe it was some sort of like collaboration between the game creators and the writers of the manga to have it be kinda sorta the same character. It's a little strange, but definitely an interesting tidbit, and I have Rabbit to thank for pointing that out to me because I had forgotten. So there we are. So now we're at the boss, and this is, I think it's, like, I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there. Where, like, it's got this really neato idea where, like, he has a shield full of air bubbles, and you gotta deplete them. So, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. Only one hit to kill, technically, unless if you count the 3 hits beforehand, is, like hits on the machine as well, then it would take 4, but whatever. I'm rambling now. So next part is Quartz Quadrant. I will see you. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.